Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz, and I am joined as always by my co-host, Marcus.
Hello, it's me.
Your eyes look exceptionally blue today.
I've been fucking around with the camera. Settings are inconsistent every time I turn on my camera.
Sure. Happy last day of NXT as we know it.
Yep. Yep. And this was a great episode, in my opinion. Um, but it makes the future look very bleak, in my opinion. And the reason for that is we got a glimpse of some of the talent that is coming in. You know, like the Creed brothers, Meiying. And I know the Creed brothers look very uninspiring. Like no
To
character.
be fair with Meiying, Karen Q has been around. She's not a new talent.
Right, but like she hasn't been wrestling on NXT TV.
Sure.
Um it doesn't look as fun and inspiring and like how creative it has been over the past couple years. Um, and it seems like the top of the card now is gonna be people like LA Knight, Ridge Holland. Whether or not Pete Dunne's gonna stick around, don't know if Ciampa's sticking around. Um, and saw some new enhancement talent that could move on to, you know, be bigger in the card, but they also don't look very inspiring either. I'm sorry, I'm very bright right now.
Are you?
Feels like it. Feels like I'm very bright.
I don't feel like you are.
I think it's also the camera adjusting, where the camera's
Yeah.
auto settings. Um, it seems like there's going to be a huge drop in character and variety in the people we get. I know there was a big complaint that NXT doesn't have a lot of variety in general, um, in the past, but it seems like we're going to be getting even less of that now.
I did not like today's episode.
Really?
So it's even less hopeful for me, I feel like. And I thought today's episode was a snooze fest, if you will. Ember versus Kaylie Ray was a great way to start the show off. Um, and Carmelo and Santos was actually pretty decent, but I think after that first hour, I started really just kind of not caring.
I thought I thought Carmelo and Santos was great. Kaylie Ray and Ember Moon was great. There was a third match I thought was great too.
MSK versus Oni and Danny, because that's the only other one I can imagine.
Casey and Kaden versus Io and Zoe I thought was great too. Um, I don't usually love performances from Casey and Kaden, but I thought this match was great because of the storytelling they used to kind of give Io and Zoe the win. And then MSK versus Oni and Danny was fantastic. Amazing way to end the card.
I found myself in that last hour just like wishing the time would go by faster.
For me, it went by very fast. I thought all the Bachelor and Bachelorette party stuff was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Next week seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, regardless of the new changes. Alright, Liz is lighting the apartment on fire. Here we go.
I just want you to see it happen.
Mm-hmm. Next week we've got Fatal 4-Way for number one contender for the NXT Championship between Tommaso Ciampa, LA Knight, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly. Raquel defends the NXT Women's Championship against Frankie Monet. We have Dexter and Indy's wedding. And there was something else on the card that I can't remember. I think there's another big match. They teased some big changes to Ember Moon.
Yeah.
No idea what.
I'm thinking it's a gimmick change. I think
Probably.
she's had this gimmick for a while. I think she's switching it up to something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm hoping because otherwise there's only two real options, and I don't think that she would have had such a public like send off if she was like if her contract was up or something.
Yeah.
You know,
And
that never happens.
NXT doesn't normally do these farewell kind of things if somebody's getting released. Which is why I said that Danny and Oni are maybe going to the main roster after today. After they were turned on by Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland, and
I was also turned on by Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland.
out of their faction. What else? What was announced for next week? I could have sworn there was something else. I guess not. I guess there was nothing else. Not that
there's nothing else I can think of.
Okay. But yeah, next week, despite the changes, it does seem like a lot of fun. That's about everything that happened in this episode, kind of summed up. Saw some new talent, some new people. Not super hopeful. The only hopeful things about this upcoming era seem to be Carmelo Hayes and Odyssey Jones. And, in my opinion, LA Knight.
Yeah, I get that.
Everything else is kind of rocky. Even I want to like Ridge Holland a lot, but he's got some kinks to file down for his character.
I think Ridge needs to work on his character a little bit. But like what worries me even more is just that like Roddy is now somewhat taking a back seat in Dynamite, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stressing me out.
Yeah. That might have also just been Triple H is nervous about what's going to happen to Roddy, so he's kind of planning for in case Roddy gets cut. Like he doesn't want to put him in the forefront if he's just going to get cut at once they go live again, and then Diamond Mine is once again screwed over.
We are in fact 1 week away from finding out if there will be immediate ramifications for the NXT changes.
Well, I would say now we'll be finding out, because now the taped episodes are over. There's no repercussions for releasing anyone.
I would say that if we don't find out by this Thursday, we won't find out until next week.
I'd say Friday.
They seem to like to do these things on. Well, yeah, okay, you're right.
They did on SmackDown at one time.
Maybe they won't do that again. Maybe that would be nice. Just not to ambush your fans like that.
Well,
or your wrestlers, for that matter.
Let's not dwell on these releases because they are very unfortunate. And they are rumors, yeah. So let's just get into the news. I've got a little bit of news, actually.
Do you know?
Yeah. It's AEW news.
All right. Well, let me see what I've got. I don't have any AEW news.
Okay.
You're welcome to start with that.
So, it's nothing major, but AEW showed they had kind of a AEW Games panel today, and they showed off the new game coming out. and not a whole lot was shown. They showed some wrestling between Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. Wrestling looks a little janky, and it looks like it does need some work, but the character models look great. Like Jungle Boy and Darby both look fantastic.
Really?
And it's still in the developmental stages, so the wrestling will be polished. So it looks very promising.
Cool. I look forward to that. Sorry, there's an animal in here that's just unsettled. I don't have a ton of news right now. Okay. The news that I do have is the following. First things first, very exciting for me, and I'm just reporting on it because I can. Is Jake Atlas and Taylor Rust have their first? I don't know if it's Jake's first.
No, because Jake Atlas was at Effie's Big Gay Brunch at GCW.
Okay, yes. Well, Taylor Rust's first post WWE booking. He's fighting Jake Atlas at Death Before Dishonor, which Mark and I will be at. It's gonna be fun. I'm thrilled, so everyone knows. That's exciting. It's cool to see Taylor. It was weird saying that. It's cool to see him back in Ring of Honor. I kind of assumed that's where he was gonna end up, so I'm excited. And then for some WWE news, because it's a little wonky over in the WWE land today. First of all, Mick Foley came out of absolutely nowhere to say that he thinks AEW is going to be a serious problem for the WWE. I will not read you the entire transcript. But he basically said that part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines, but part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. If it's not broke, don't fix it. He said then, if I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. I think is a fair assessment.
It is, and if Mick Foley's saying it, then it's very important because we know him and Vince have a relationship, and Mick.
And Mick isn't saying it out of a place of like misdeed.
Right, and Mick has been critical openly of the WWE before, but what frustrates me is it doesn't matter. Vince doesn't care. Vince doesn't want wrestling talent. He wants athletic people that he can mold into wrestlers, into TV talent, and basically he wants blank canvases. And that's what he's getting on NXT right now. He doesn't want indies. He doesn't want local wrestling talent. Like, he doesn't want wrestlers. That's just how it is now.
Yeah. I'm glad that Mick said something. I don't think it's going to do anything.
Yeah.
But it's good that he said something. Really all I can say at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other news, a headline I didn't expect to read today was The Undertaker and The New Day have teamed up for an interactive horror film. It's going to be on Netflix on October 5th.
Who's teaming up with you to change the sign?
Shit! Nobody look! Fuck, I can't do this with one hand. Shit. Anyways.
I mean, it sounds really cool. It sounds really interesting.
Apparently, it's going to feature the New Day in Undertaker's mansion, and viewers get to decide what they do. Which
So it's like that
I
Black Mirror thing.
fucking watch it. It sounds like kind of fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
It sounds like something that, like, if we got like a couple of friends together to watch it, it would be a good time.
Yeah. Well, it was Bandersnatch. Wasn't that the name of it?
Yes. Which Bandersnatch had a couple of issues, so.
Also, you're freezing quite a bit. I don't know if you want to hop on the other network. I don't know which one you're on right now.
I'm on the regular.
Oh. Oh, she's
You're
really
frozen.
freezing.
Oh, it's because
She must have changed it. She might be dipping out in a second. Well, looks like she's not coming back. So how's everyone doing today? Oh, there we go. Now she's gone. Is she back? There she is.
my smiling.
Huh?
My smiling face.
Yeah.
Let's see if that fixes. I doubt it will, but worth a shot. Final piece of news tonight is a 2-for-1. So Sean Ross Sapp tweeted some eyebrow or eyeball emojis today, and Kevin Owens tweeted some shit himself. Specifically, the coordinates to Mount Rushmore.
And then deleted it.
And now his location on Twitter is almost there.
Now, do you know the Mount Rushmore?
Yes, I know the Mount Rushmore reference. So Sean Ross Sapp finally came out and said that Kevin Owens, his contract is actually up much sooner than expected.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's up sometime this year, if I'm not mistaken. I was literally just looking at an article about it. Yeah, so his contract is going to be up a lot sooner than people were thinking it would be. Specifically, it looks like it's going to expire in 2022, January 2022. Originally, it looked like it was going to carry him to 2023 when he signed in May of 2018, but the deal was recently changed or something. So interestingly enough, it also turns out that Sami Zayn's contract is up either later this year or beginning of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying anything, but it's an interesting look.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting. And we'll see how this all goes down later this year, I guess.
Yeah. I don't want to say that I don't want to speculate too much, but at the same time, it did seem like Kevin Owens was pretty fucking fed up with the WWE this past pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not so sure what will come of all of that. So
I've got a little tidbit here. So Moxley said in an interview with Fightful that quote, Vince McMahon would watch a lot of AEW matches and say, quote, that's garbage, they're not selling, slow it down, it's crap, blood and guts or whatever, but he wouldn't be paying attention to the 15,000 people going nuts. I feel vindicated.
that's fair.
I mean, what else would you expect from Vince watching AEW?
Yeah. It is what it is.
Mhm.
I am excited to see what happens, though, for sure.
And they also announced, AEW announced Ruby Soho versus Jamie Hayter on Dynamite. That's cool.
All right. Goddamn.
All right. So, you want to go into today's episode? Get into the recap.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right. So, we started off immediately with Ember Moon versus Kaylie Ray.
And what a fucking match this was, huh?
This was fantastic. The only thing that would have made it a little better, there were a few botches in the match. A little bit.
A couple of flubs. But they
Yeah.
had really good in-ring chemistry for what seemed to be their first time wrestling.
Yeah.
Probably in a while, you would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, they're both incredible workers. Kaylie Ray especially, she is such a great talent.
Sure. So we start with a head scissors submission hold on Ember, right into a side headlock on Kaylie. There's a shoulder tackle to Ray, and then an arm drag and a boot to the face of Ray. Ember hits her in the chest with a mule kick, and then Kaylie hangs Ember up by the arm against the top rope. She hyperextends it back in the ring. There's an armbar on Ember. Moon rolls Kaylie Ray up to break the hold. Hits a Hurricane Rana from like the floor to Kaylie Ray. Then a boot to the chest and another under the jaw and a step up and to Kaylie. We got like a sort of weird, very slow motion double knees to the jaw of Kaylie. Off the top post. I just thought it looked a little strange and like a little flubbed. Ember gets a crossface on Kaylie. Kaylie rolls back to break the hold. Ember, however, recovers and does not release. And then she buckle bombs her, or doesn't really buckle bomb her. Sorry, that's the wrong term. It's just what happened. She slammed Kaylie Ray into the buckles, basically. Just kind of fucking like launched her. Or was that Ember that did that?
I don't remember.
It was Kaylie was the one that received the impact. Kaylie ends up slapping Ember across the face, hits her with a super kick to the throat. Moon doesn't sit down. She keeps going. She shoves Kaylie to the top buckle, attacks her, or shoves her up to the top buckle, lets her hang down, lifts her up slightly to kick her in the spine multiple times before kicking her in the back of the fucking head. Ooh. Woof, brother. Moon then gets sent into the top turnbuckle. Kaylie hits a tornado DDT to Moon. Moon tosses Kaylie Ray over the top rope. Back in the ring, Kaylie snaps Ember off the top buckle, sort of like somersaults herself off the top buckle as well, nearly like caving her skull into the mat, which I didn't care for. We get an up and down powerbomb to Kaylie Ray, which was almost the one-winged angel somebody mentioned. And then Kaylie bombs Ember into the ground with the Kaylie Ray bomb, or the KLR bomb, to finally end things and to gain one victory.
Yeah, and it's going to be the start of her women's title push after Raquel deals with Frankie. Or when Frankie deals with Raquel. You know, with the way things are going, with the revamp, they might put the title in Frankie's hands. Who knows?
Weirder things have happened.
All right, so after that, we had an interview from the group I will still call The Brand. Danny said, "I'm done talking about this bollocks, I'm back." Oni says, "Tonight we take back what we never lost." Ridge said, "Don't step to fellas like us." Pete said, don't just take your titles back, boys. End MSK. Then Danny turns to the interviewer and says, come on, one foot in front of the other. It's called walking. And then we get Indy Hartwell's Bachelorette party, featuring a bunch of wrestlers and one of her best friends. And she said, I can't believe you've done this, Candace. Candace said, well, it's because you have no friends. And Indy said, it means the world to me you're all here, especially my best friend who came all the way from Australia for this. Casey Canzaro turned to her friend and was like, you came all the way from Australia for this? She's like, no, I came all the way from Australia for Disney World. Indy continues saying, there was one person who made me who made me who I am today, Candice LeRae. And at the other end of the table, Casey and Kaden are like tick-tocking at the table.
That was bad. Hated that.
Yeah. Candice then says, when this started, I didn't approve. It was strange, creepy, psychotic. But now I realize Dexter really loves you, Indy. And that's all I could ever ask for. But Johnny's gonna be a tough nut to crack. And Indy says, Dexter is just gonna have to crack his nut. Oh, Indy's so fucking hilarious. She says, I wonder what they're doing. Candace says, well, I just so happen to have some spy gear. And they run off to go spy on the bachelor party. And then we go back to the ring for Carmelo Hayes versus Santos Escobar.
This was also kind of a good match, I would say.
This was a great match.
Yeah. So Santos sort of slaps Carmelo on the back, offers to like kind of send him out of the ring. He just like holds the rope open for him. We get a wrist lock on Santos. Santos rolls to get free, but Carmelo maintains the hold. Carmelo goes for a flying head scissors, and Santos counters, sending him flat on his face. We get a kick to the ribs of Carmelo and a DDT to Hayes. Hayes goes up and over Santos. Hayes goes up and over Santos. Gets caught. There's a standing switch and a mule kick to the face of Santos. Hayes hits a pump kick to Santos, and then Santos sends Carmelo out of the ring, stumbling face first into the announce desk. After that, we have double knees to the chest of Carmelo. Santos puts Carmelo up top, sends some chops to his chest, then gets a nasty, almost coast-to-coast Hurricane Rana off the top rope. That was bonkers.
Yeah.
Santos then brings Carmelo out of the ring, gets him into the Boston Crab position on the steel steps. Once we're back in the ring, Carmelo stomps the back of Santos. It's like a springboard leg drop, you know, that little thing that he likes to do, where he goes backwards. It's a flying clothesline and a cutter to Santos. There's double knees to the face to counter Santos's attempt at a fireman's carry takeover. Mendoza then distracts the ref, and Carmelo ends up ringside, and in the process, ends up being spine-busted ringside by Elektra, which I thought was maybe the coolest moment of my entire time watching NXT, outside of like when Io and Damien teamed up.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get back in the ring. Carmelo is subjected to the Phantom Driver from Santos to lose. Santos to win.
Yes. So after that, we had a promo from Diamond Mine. Malcolm Bivens is talking. He says, the Creed brothers are tough. This Tuesday, when they make their NXT debut, the CWC will witness history. Roderick Strong comes in and says, welcome to the team, fellas. We then get an interview with William Regal. He says, it's been 2 weeks since Joe... It's been 2 weeks since Joe won the championship. Him being a fighting champion won't be changing. There will be a fatal 4-way match for the number 1 contender for the NXT championship between Tommaso Ciampa, LA Knight, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly. And then we get the Creed brothers taking on, I think their names were Chucky Viola and Patrick Averill.
So here's the thing, is I don't know the Creed brothers' names, and
it's Julius Creed and Brutus Creed.
Okay, so now I know their names. Don't know which one applies to which one. And they aren't exactly the most different looking boys in the world. And I did not know the names of the guys that they were fighting. So I have given them all fun little nicknames. The first Creed brother that's in is brother number 1. The second one that gets in is brother number 2. The guy with the curly semi-afro with bad hairline is the hairline guy. And then we've got the bald guy.
Miriam said, you mean knockoff versions of Fred Rosser and Stu Grayson?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So, brother number 1, who I guess was Brutus, I could be wrong, it's a 50-50. He throws the hairline guy over the ropes, suplexes the bald guy. Bald guy gets in. There's a fireman's carry takeover to the bald guy from brother number 1. And then hairline guy also gets fireman's carry takeovered. Brother number 2 then sends the bald man into the post, suplexes the life out of him, hits a power slam to the bald guy. Brother number 2 then tosses the guy with the hairline in, and we get a rolling slam from brother number 1 to the bald guy to win. Trust me, I was just as confused as you may have been reading those notes. I did not know what was happening. At the time, I would hear like something akin to like a tag, and I'd look and I would not be able to tell if it was a different brother.
Somebody posted online a whole list of like the greatest NXT matches from 2013 to the present. Since, the black and gold is now ending. And man, this is a long list that looks fucking awesome. And then what stands out the most is Jushin Thunder Liger versus Tyler Breeze. Yeah,
somebody's playing taps in the back of my head.
Somebody like seeing AOP FTR on this, it's wild. Andrade, Alistair, now Adam Cole. Alright, so after that we had an interview with Ember Moon. She said, it's been a rough 3 months. Lost my tag titles, lost my tag partner. I'm tired. It took Kaylie Ray to wake me up. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I know what I have to do. And we know what happened the last time we heard that. We didn't see Roderick Strong for a few months.
I was just going to join Diamond Mine. That'd be fun.
Maybe. Then we had a promo from Hit Row. Swerve says, I can't be mad. I should have seen it coming. Santos would come back with something. You're never going to catch Hit Row slipping. I don't remember who said what, but they said, we ain't laughing. My nana used to say a hard head makes a soft ass. Count your blessings. They had the nerve. I don't know who you are, but hitting B-Fab with a pipe isn't how you say hello. Now we have a problem. If you didn't know, now you know. And then we had Kacy Catanzaro and Kaden Carter versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship.
So we start this match with Zoe versus Kacy. It's sort of a Hurricane Rana to Zoe, but Zoe lands on her feet. Io and Kaden get in. There's a bad head scissors, and Kaden lands on her feet. Because it's kind of like we're equally matched, even though I really don't believe that for a goddamn second. Anyways, there's a hard drop kick to Io, and then an arm submission hold on Io from Kaden. Kacy gets in. She continues the arm sub, whips Io into the corner, goes to splash her, but Io dodges, sending Kacy into the buckles. Zoe gets in, or rather, post-commercial break, it's Zoe versus Kacy. Zoe goes for a belly to back, but Kacy, in the process of being lifted up, reaches back and tags Kaden. Kaden drop kicks Io in the corner, who was in the ring for some reason that I did not catch. She does the thing where she drop kicks the person in the corner and falls on the person that's like laying down in front of the person that's in the corner. I think it's just a move that you can't do every single fucking match because after a certain point it looks silly. Like it's supposed to be one of those like, oh, that's happenstance, like crazy that would happen. It can't be like part of your arsenal. I'm sorry. Also, what do I know? I'm not a wrestler. Anyways, Io then knocks Kaden back after getting in, sends a boot to Casey ringside. She drop kicks Kaden, gets a crossface on her. Kaden breaks free. Io still sends a boot into the chest of Kaden. She throws Kaden into the ropes. Io runs at her, gets a boot to the chest, or boot to the face rather. Casey gets in. She and Kaden hit a wheelbarrow moonsault, which I wrote down before Wade Barrett said it, so I have dibs on it.
What do you mean you have dibs on it? Dibs on what? You're going to start using the move?
Just dibs on, like, people knowing that I wrote it first before Wade said it.
But technically you didn't, because this was taped a while ago.
Well, okay, but before anyone heard it.
People heard it in the CWC when it was taped.
Okay, anyways. The wheelbarrow moonsault onto Io once Casey tags in. Kaden gets in. She lifts Io up, ends up being reversed on. Io hits her with a German suplex. There's a kick to Carter from the newly legal Stark. Carter then sends a forearm into Io, and Stark sends Io off the apron. Carter topples Zoe, hits a... She gets Casey up on her shoulders, and then slams her down off the buckles. As like a weird tag team finisher, but Io breaks up the cover with a drop kick because Kaden took way too fucking long to set that up. There's a knee to the jaw of Casey from Stark and a what could only really be considered a go to sleep, more or less, from Stark. And then Io gets in, hits the over the moonsault onto Casey to win.
Right. Yeah, a lot of fun. What solidified that match to me as a really good one was Kaden debating on whether or not she should just go for the pin or do the flashy finisher from the top rope. And it helped push their storyline, push their characters, and made it, you know, a creative match. Also, got a little news that AEW has created the AEW Games Twitch account, and streams are scheduled to start later this month.
Oh yeah, because Kenny tweeted something like, speaking of Twitch accounts.
I thought he was joking, where he was like, speaking of Twitch accounts, we have to get rid of yours, Adam.
It was brought up in my Discord, and I think we all kind of thought the same thing. But now I think that that's probably what the case was.
Yeah. I wonder how soon we're going to see Adam Cole wrestle on AEW.
I don't know. He streamed today, and I wanted to watch it, but I was in the middle of working out, so I didn't.
Apparently, he was talking about Sunday on the stream.
Yeah, I think it was just a little chit chat.
He never talks about wrestling on his stream. Like he'll ban you if you talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm mainly telling
I've been
a
subscriber for like.
I've
been a subscriber for like 8 months.
Mainly telling the audience. I know you're obsessed with Adam Cole.
Obsessed?
You've been subscribed to him for 8 months.
$5. That's what, $40 in a year?
And thank you all that are subscribed. We love you. If you're not subscribed, please do.
Or else Mark won't love you.
We'll be best friends.
And if you don't subscribe, Mark's going to be your mortal enemy.
If you don't subscribe, I'll ban you. Yeah. Suck on that.
Doesn't seem like the most marketable idea in the world.
Oh. Isn't it technically just a paywall to watch us?
Yeah, I guess so. So, just turn this into a Patreon.
Yeah. So then we have a promo from Kyle O'Reilly. He says these past few months have been challenging. TakeOver 36 equals a chapter in my life. I'm not giving a damn. Being able to do whatever I want. I don't care whatever it takes. I don't care if I make it to my next birthday. The end game is the NXT Championship. It's not about the physical title. It's about being the best. Next week, another obsession begins. And then we get Dexter's Bachelor Party. It's a group made up of Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, Odyssey Jones, Cameron Grimes, Drake Maverick, Zombie Ref. And Johnny says, where are we going? Who's paying for the bachelor party? Or who's paying for the wedding even? Cameron Grimes opens the door and says, watch out now. Let's take this bachelor party to the moon. Starts giving money to everyone. With enough money, you can take care of any problem. This wedding is taken care of by Cameron Grimes. And then they go play some go-karts. Cameron starts off by saying, welcome to the Dexter Lumis Bachelor Party Grand Prix. Start your engines. And while they're doing the go-karts, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are spying on them. Dexter accidentally crashes into the zombie ref. And, just a lot more go-karts. Then we get some axe throwing. The whole group is asked, does anyone have any experience with an axe? Dexter Lumis is the only one to slowly raise his hand. And then they start the actual axe throwing. Johnny is missing a lot, but Dexter helps him with his form, lines up his arm and everything. Then they go to a trampoline place. Drake Maverick is on the trampolines. Cameron Grimes goes up to Odyssey Jones and says, I bet you $10,000 you can't send Drake Maverick to the moon. And Odyssey Jones takes that bet and bounces and sends him flying. Then we get laser tag. Dexter doesn't understand the premise and starts attacking people. Chokes a couple people out, but Johnny takes advantage of that and blasts them with the laser while they're unconscious. And then Team Dexter wins. Johnny high fives everyone, gets to Dexter and hesitates. Then then Zombie Ref speaks up like a normal person, talks like a Canadian, and then who was it? I think Drake Maverick was just like, "Wait, you're Canadian?" And then Odyssey pushes Johnny into Dexter to high five him, and then Indy Hartwell runs in with Candice behind her and says, Dexter, you did it. You cracked Johnny's nut.
Also, fun fact, Daryl Sharma is actually Canadian.
Was that Daryl Sharma? I thought that was someone different.
That was Daryl Sharma. He's just shaved, so he's unrecognizable still for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it fucks me up.
Let's see, where was I? Johnny said, wait, you're spying again? And Candice said, no. Hey, look, everyone's on the same page. And Johnny says, guys, let's go have a wedding. Then we get a Boa and Meiying promo. Boa just says, it's time. Meiying competes next. Then we get a promo with Frankie Monet and Jesse Camilla. Frankie's looking at the InDex invitation. And she says, these Dexter and Indy invitations are tacky. Robert Stone walks in. He says, next week, confirmed, Frankie Monet against Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship. Frankie says, do you guys even understand how big this is for the brand? Next week, everyone's going to talk about me. And then we got Meiying versus Virginia Ferry. Miriam said Dexter was just trying to help Johnny win so he could win Johnny's blessing.
Oh. He's a good boy at the end of the day.
I am praying that Vince and Bruce don't just have him speak at the wedding.
I feel like they will.
I feel like they will too. There's a reason. I feel like Triple H, every time Vince or Bruce visits the Performance Center, he just hides Dexter. He tells him not to come in for the day.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, but yeah, Meiying versus Virginia Ferry.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Virginia Ferry gets punched in the throat, sort of gets like choked out, stunner, sort of. Meiying stomps on her and then chokes her. Like, it wasn't even choke slam. It was just she choked her and pinned her with the choke. And that's that.
Yep. And then after that, we get a promo from LA Knight. LA Knight. It's championship season, which for me is every season. You're gonna be doing a whole lot of belly aching as I smack down all your favorites, dummy. Samoa Joe's time's up.
Because he smacks them down.
Yes. Whose game is it? Yeah, it's LA Knight's game. Dummy. Yeah. And then we get a promo from Tommaso Ciampa. He says, I was motivated to avenge. Now I have 2 goals. 1, Pete Dunne. This game isn't going to have a pretty ending. 2, it's been a long time. The greatest things in life are always worth waiting for. Gold. He smacks the chair into the door again. Then we have MSK versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
All right, so Danny and Nash are the first ones in. They get nice and locked up. There's a wrist lock on Nash, which Nash tries to roll free from, gets caught in a side headlock. Nash then drop kicks the ankle of Danny after getting free, hits a knee to the head of Burch. There's a boot to the midsection of Carter to slow him down. This gets Oney in. Carter gets free, and Wes and tags Wes in. Pardon me. There's a kick to the side of Lorcan's head from Wes. Nash gets him with a double stomp to his back. Nash gets in right after that. Hits a moonsault down onto Lorcan. Burch gets in. Uppercut to Nash. Lorcan gets back in. And now I'm hiccuping. Sorry. Lorcan gets back in. There's a slap to the chest of Nash. Nash hits a spiral crossbody to Burch. Nate shows up. So Nash gets a spot. Holy shit!
Nate gets a spider.
Okay, let me try this again. So there's a slap to the chest of Nash. Nash hits a spiral crossbody to Burch. This gets Wesley in. There's a big drop kick to Burch's chest from Nash. Post commercial break, it's Burch and Nash again.
You're trying so hard.
I don't know what's going wrong with me. I've got the fucking yips. God damn. So we get a sidewalk slam from a side headlock to Nash from Burch. Lorcan gets in. There's a chop to Nash's chest. Lorcan begins screaming, which I loved. Sounds like a goddamn goblin. It's a snap suplex to Carter. Burch gets back in. Carter sends Lorcan from the ring, hits a jumping knee to Danny, which rocks his shit. Wes gets in. Boot to the face of Burch and a multitude of strikes leading up to a drop kick. To Oney. Yeah, Oney tagged in, actually. Sorry. Oney tagged in at some point. There's a lot of kicks, a lot of slaps to Oney before a nice drop kick. Wes then German suplexes Lorcan. Carter gets in. It's double axe handles to Oney. Burch interferes on the cover, though, and Wesley is, like, pissed about this. So he tosses Burch from the ring. Nash moonsaults onto Lorcan ringside. He gets Lorcan back in the ring, goes for it again off the top turnbuckle, but Lorcan gets his knees up. It's looking a little fucking bleak for MSK at this point. There's a single leg crab to Nash and a crossface on Wes from Danny. Carter, however, manages after what looks like it's going to be like game over. Carter launches Oney across the ring. It's a jumping knee to Burch. There's some chops to Nash's chest. Lorcan runs at Nash. Gets it. There's a huge arm drag that sends Oney into the buckles, like upside down. Finally, we get a super kick to Danny. Wes gets in. Tony gets tossed up onto Wes's shoulders. Nash brings him down. And MSK don't lose their titles today.
Yep. But now the question is, who will take it from them? Should be Legato, but it's probably gonna be Hit Row. Yeah.
I guess that.
Also, apparently, Cody Rhodes. Somebody posted this on Reddit. Cody Rhodes just sent a link through his community text that contains just a picture of Stardust. Imagine Cody Rhodes was kicked so hard that the only thing he can do now is come back as Stardust. And me making Stardust wrestling in my 2K universe was a prophecy.
Mark, if there's one thing I can ask you to not fucking manifest, it would be that. Unless he brings back the music too.
Ooh, imagine.
Just saying that song might be a banger. Who's to say?
Oh, I would die. If he comes back as Stardust, we will do Dynamite post shows instead of Raw or an NXT. Which one?
I mean, at this point, let's be conservative with our assumptions that we will end up doing WWE post shows much longer.
We'll say for certain if he comes back as Stardust, we will be 100% doing Dynamite post shows. It's a promise.
Yeah.
Clip this so you all have it saved. Yeah, so that's the end of the recap from tonight's NXT. I thought it was a great episode. Minus a couple hiccups in there. But the matches were still all very solid for the most part. So now let's get into the best of the night. Promo of the night. Do you want to consider the Bachelorette party separate from the Bachelor party?
No, I would consider them all one promo.
Okay, then it's that.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything that really comes close to defeating that.
Yeah. Alright, so let's do Wrestler of the Night now. This one's tough for me. There's like 4 different choices I want to pick. So let me tell you my 4 choices. I don't know, narrow it down. So first up is Kaylie Ray from Ember vs. Kaylie. She just fucking killed this. Like she's such a great wrestler. I wanted to pick Ember, but she had a few botches, which put Kaylie Ray over. But having her in NXT Prime is so great. She's such a great addition. Next, Santos Escobar. I mean, his character work and in-ring ability is unparalleled. He is so fantastic. His ability to just be a fucking bastard is so entertaining.
He is a rat. Rapscallion.
That Boston Crab on the stairs.
Who did he last do that to?
I don't remember him doing that to anyone.
It wasn't Jake. Was it? Why does Jake Atlas sound right to me?
It might have been Jake Atlas. It was either him or Drake Maverick.
Yeah, it was one of the two. Those are literally the 2 faces that are in my head right now.
Because he didn't do it to anyone else, I don't think. Then my next pick is Zoe Stark. I mean, the in-ring wrestling from everyone in this match was great. For me, it was a toss-up between Zoe and Io. But if we're taking character work into account too, Zoe gets it over Io. She has made like consistently great performances ever since she came Like she's been such a great talent since day one, pulling banger after banger. Now, if only she had more of a say in the promos that she was a part of, looking at the Japanese restaurant. But yeah, I mean, she helped make this match incredible. And it's hard to put her over anyone else that I'm picking today. And lastly, my fourth pick is Wesley. It was, again, a toss-up between him and Nash, but I think Wes really brought that savagery. Like, him and Nash, what made this match so great was they stepped it up with their brutality because they had to against an opponent like Oni and Danny. And Wes brought that more than Nash from what I saw.
Okay. I kind of disagree with that, but I'm not going to say anything until I need to say anything.
But to narrow it down a little more, it's not Kaylie Ray. I think putting character work into account, some other people were a bit better than Kaylie Ray. I think I want to pick Santos.
Sure.
Santos knocked it out of the park once again, and I think he is continuing to prove that him and Legado have NXT on their shoulders right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Great.
Santos is really doing the most for NXT right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that like it needs to be carried, but like without, well,
I think if Hit Row was around more, it wouldn't be on Santos and Legado's shoulders. Like it was on Undisputed Era's shoulders, but they're gone. Joe hasn't been around consistently enough as champion.
okay.
Ciampa's somebody else who could have it on his shoulders, but he's not, he's not playing a very big role. He's kind of, I don't want to say he's phoning it in lately, but outside of his matches, he's kind of falling flat a little bit.
Yeah.
And Raquel, she wasn't even around at all today.
Raquel wasn't around. Joe wasn't around.
There was someone else who wasn't. GYV weren't around.
GYV weren't around. Tim Thatcher still is gone and it's stressing me the fuck out.
Kushida's not around.
Kushida's not around.
It's like the second week in a row Kushida's not here.
All of Hit Row's not around.
No, they had a promo.
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry.
Dakota.
Well, I don't think we have to count on Dakota anymore. Duke Hudson wasn't around.
Yeah, just a lot of names that are kind of up in the air right now that I'm not sure why they're being left off TV.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so glad Santos is still one of the names around though. All right, so let's go into match of the night. This is an easy one for me, in my opinion. So let's start with the worst, and we'll go to the best. And thank you, Miriam, for reminding me. If you have a question for a question segment after the best of the night, leave it in the chat now, so it's there when we move on.
Yeehaw.
And the questions can be about anything. All right, so starting with the worst, the 3 out of 10. Meiying versus Virginia Ferry. This is a squash match.
Yeah.
But Meiying wasn't even interesting to watch. I wasn't impressed by any of the basic moves she pulled out. It didn't look good. Wasn't entertaining. Wasn't impressive in any way. Yeah. At least with the next pick, there were some good moves. which is the Creed brothers versus Chucky Viola and Patrick Averill. Don't even know if those are their names. I thought the Creed brothers are, again, very uninspiring. This match was a squash, but at least we saw some good offense from the Creed brothers. They've got some in-ring abilities and in-ring talent. They just need to be given characters.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be a Kurt Angle, where they're just a really good wrestler, because Kurt Angle was more than that.
Right.
All right, so next up, we're taking a huge jump to a 7 out of 10 to Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. Great match. I thought this was fantastic. Great in-ring work from everyone here. And then the final, like the nail in the coffin for Casey and Kaden, when Kaden decided to go for the finish rather than just give the pin. It put over a storyline that made this match on another level. Next up, another 7 out of 10, Carmelo Hayes versus Santos Escobar. Character work was off the charts. In-ring ability was incredible. These two guys are so good, and I'm excited to see Carmelo Hayes eventually run this roster. He is already being shown to be an incredible talent. And he's got great promo ability too. Next up, 7 out of 10, Ember Moon versus Kaylie Ray. Great match. It was missing a little bit of character work, but I mean, the in-ring work between these two was amazing. Simply amazing. And I'm really excited to see where Kaylie Ray goes after this. Whether she goes for... I mean, they're probably having Frankie fight Kaylie Ray next week just to get that over with so that Kaylie can just take on Raquel. And that's going to be great. And then where Ember Moon goes, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Because hopefully it's still on NXT.
I'm sure it is, because Ember wanted to come back to NXT. I don't think that she'd be like, yeah, sure, let me just hop around.
Well, it's either staying on NXT or getting released.
I think it's a gimmick change. I really do.
I hope so. I'm really interested to see what kind of gimmick she takes on now. All right, so then our match of the night, or my match of the night, with an 8 out of 10, MSK versus Oni Orkin and Danny Burch. This match was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun, and seeing this new side of Nash, Carter, and Wesley was so good. It was excellent. Them pulling out the stops and going full brute on Oni and Danny. It was unlike anything we've seen from MSK. And I feel like they were really put to their limit. It made the match super exciting. And you're never sure like who was gonna win. That's what I like about NXT title matches for the most part. Most of them, it could go either way. It really could. And I think that's what a lot of main roster title matches are missing. Yeah. So that's my pick for match of the night. Do you agree?
I do agree. It wasn't exactly what I thought you would pick, but I do agree with it.
Okay.
This match very much had me like biting my fingernails down to nubs because I was so stressed about it. And then I was thrilled because I very much did believe that Oni and Danny would win.
I did too.
And right at the end, it looked like they were going to, and then all of a sudden they didn't. I was like,
yeah.
Hey, boys. It was funny because I was so excited, and then my friends were behind. Or were ahead, rather. I was behind. And they're all sad about what's happening. I was like, yay!
Yeah, it really sucks that, like, it seemed like this was the only match where they piped in crowd noise. And, like, this is, like, the only example I will understand I will understand why they pipe in crowd noise. Because the CWC crowd is fucking awful.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, they were chanting Hit Row during the Santos Carmelo Hayes match. They boo MSK endlessly, even though MSK A are the faces, first of all.
Yeah.
And B, they're incredible talents. I mean, their in-ring ability is out of this world, and they're also great characters with great promo abilities. So I don't understand why you would ever boo these guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
There was a lady in the front row in like fucking Nash Carter or Wesley's face, literally thumbs down in their face. It was dumb.
Don't get it.
But yeah, amazing match. So, do you want to answer some questions?
I'll answer a question.
Alright, so we've got one from Miriam. She asks, who do you think is going to officiate Index's wedding? Also, there's two questions. Let's start with who do you think is going to officiate Index's wedding?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy, it's Beth Phoenix, I guarantee you.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'd put absolute money on it.
That's a good one. You sure she won't? I guess Candace would be the maid of honor?
Or Candace would be... I don't think... No. I think... Because it's not a real-ass wedding, I think... I guarantee you Beth will take any opportunity to fucking dress up with a nice suit jacket and some slacks. I guarantee you it's Beth Phoenix. I would put money on this.
Or it's Ted DiBiase.
Could be. I just feel like Beth has been like so involved.
Do you think it would be Beth or Regal?
Could be Regal. The thing is, I can just see Beth doing it.
Yeah, I could see both those happening, and then somebody tries to crash the wedding, and then Beth just throws down the book in her hand and just starts wailing on him. I do think LA Knight will try and crash the wedding or something.
Well, probably. Maybe he'll object.
Maybe. Or maybe Poppy objects.
Poppy, no. No, Poppy's not allowed on NXT anymore ever since they changed it. Only Wale can object.
Oh no. Wale in a wig. But I'm terrified that Dexter's gonna talk. He's gonna say I do or something. It's gonna ruin everything.
I'm terrified for like the next 10 days, I think. I'm not even gonna say 7. The next 10 days, I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna be a little on edge.
Okay. Alright, so Miriam's other question, do you think Frankie will beat Raquel? Because even though it feels too soon, it might just be the best choice. I don't think so, because...
I don't think so either.
I don't think Vince would want Raquel for the main roster. But at the same time, I don't think... Since him and Bruce will... be handling the big picture, I think they would want Raquel to stay as the champion. What is happening? You get scared again?
I saw the cat. Okay. I see the cat walk around my bag of makeup. I was like waiting for her to come out on the other side of the chair. And I just feel something tap my back. I just almost pissed myself. I'm sorry.
You've got to relax. Told you,
the
your blood pressure is through the roof.
People.
Yeah.
People.
I think Vince and Bruce would want to keep Raquel as the champion because I don't think they would want her for the main roster, in all honesty. Yeah, I don't think they would want Frankie as the champion either. I think Frankie is just supposed to keep Raquel busy until Kaylie Ray had a couple matches under her belt.
I think Kaylee's gonna pull one of those, like, she looks small, but she's gonna open a can of whoop ass on Raquel. I think that they'll probably do that at TakeOver because Kaylee's a big name.
Yeah, I think they'll have Kaylie Ray win.
Yeah, no, I think Kaylie Ray is the next one in line.
Because after her, I mean, who's fucking next? Meiying. Like,
I
really?
hope that I hope that they book Meiying better because I do want to see her do well because I know Karen Q's a good fucking wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So to see her like kind of in a not so convincing match
Do you
was not my
think?
speed.
Do you think that Frankie loses next week and Jesse Camilla steps up?
Maybe.
Might do that to give Kaylie Ray some more time to get some matches. Um, and it would help the Robert Stone brand storyline a little bit.
Yeah. I could see that.
And Jesse versus Raquel will be a great match.
That would be a really good match. And Jesse deserves better booking, in my opinion.
And that would give it enough time for Raquel and Kaylie Ray to happen at a takeover.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I don't think Frankie's going to get it. I think what's going to happen is this is going to be a catalyst for Frankie and Jesse to break up.
No, because they have to feud with Mandy Rose and her faction.
Oh.
I think they need another member.
No, not necessarily, because who did Mandy Rose attack? They attacked somebody today.
Was it Virginia Ferry? Was it her?
Hey, why'd you just bite me?
Who did they attack?
No. Did they attack Casey and Kaden?
No, wasn't it Zoe and Neo?
I don't remember now.
What the fuck happened today? Miriam said, you think they're still gonna have takeovers? Yeah, I mean, they gotta have some kind of pay-per-view.
Just gonna be roller skating parties instead.
Instead of calling them takeovers, they're gonna be called some bullshit like
Popovers.
like parties. They're gonna call them parties instead.
NXT parties.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, no, I don't think we're allowed to have NXT takeovers anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm still under the impression that they're gonna keep a street vibe because the colors are like colors of graffiti. And I mean, they've had a graffiti theme in the Performance Center
Sure.
for years now.
This cat is trying to eat my hand.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm holding back my reservations. Holding them back for like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
To go back to the original question, I don't think Frankie's gonna win. I think that we're gonna get some good story shit out of it, though.
Yeah.
I do think that this could be the end of Frankie and Jesse because Mandy, Gigi, and JC Jane did attack somebody, even though we can't remember who.
But they still need they need tag teams. I don't think they would break up Frankie and Jesse because they're still a tag team, or they can be.
I don't know. I'm not so sure about that yet.
But I think she would sooner end things with Robert Stone and keep Jesse. But there was something I wanted to. Well, since this is the last NXT with the black and gold, you wanna share a memory of the black and gold, your favorite memory from NXT.
My favorite memory from NXT.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Timothy Thatcher, Matt Riddle, Fight Pit with Kurt Angle.
Fight Pit's a good one. Fight Pit's a good one.
War Games with Pat McAfee.
Yeah, I was gonna say Undisputed Era War Games. Specifically, though, Undisputed Era War Games with Dijak, Keith,
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, and somebody else.
Ricochet. Was it Ricochet? No, it wasn't Ricochet.
No. Was it Tommaso?
Yeah, it was Tommaso. It was his team.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. That was great. Miriam said everyone cutting promos around Karrion Kross and Kross not being able to get a word in edgewise.
That was pretty good.
Um,
I think one thing that really served me as a fan was the near Thatcher Imperium storyline that we got. That was one of the finest moments of my time watching NXT.
what about Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne?
What about Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at In Your House? That was a banger of a match.
Actually, let me go back to that list that I saw so that we can continue to reminisce a little bit. I apologize for making this a lot longer than would have been otherwise, but this is a huge step in wrestling history that I feel like we need to linger on a little bit. So let's see some of the more recent ones. Obviously, Walter versus Ilya Dragunov. Obviously, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. Everything with that. They posted Kushida versus Santos Escobar, 2 out of 3 falls for the cruiserweight title. Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez at Stand and Deliver. Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa at Stand and Deliver. Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne at Vengeance Day. Ooh, Johnny Gargano versus Kushida at Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day was fucked. Just
Vengeance Day also had MSK versus GYV. And Shotzi and Ember versus Raquel and Dakota. New Year's Evil. Ooh, New Year's Evil. Raquel versus Rhea. Remember when Rhea was in NXT?
one of my favorite moments was when Damian and Karrion fought. And Damian got like kicked in the head and he said, "I'm still standing, bitch," 5 seconds before he got pinned. And I said, that's Elizabeth.
Oh. Let's see. Io versus Candice at Halloween Havoc. Damian versus Johnny at Halloween Havoc. And then how we were all impressed at how Triple H managed to turn Austin Theory into a likable character. And managed to, for a brief time, really raise Leon Ruff's career.
I forgot he was released. God damn it.
Yeah. Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly, NXT 31. Ooh, Finn Balor versus Adam Cole at Super Tuesday. Oh, but lest we forget, this will be the last one. Adam Cole versus Keith Lee. Winner take all, where it was spoiled by Indus Sher.
1 second. I know we said that would be the last one.
Okay.
But Roddy and Dexter Lumis. That entire feud.
Which started with the backlot brawl between Dream and Adam Cole.
Yeah, and that was like such a good match because Adam Cole beat him.
And remember the talent that Velveteen Dream would have been had he not fucked up his whole career.
Been a creep?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yep. Well, that's a good note to end this reminiscing on. Before you wrap up, I just want to say tomorrow night after Dynamite, we'll be doing our 2K20 Universe Mode stream right here at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. Wish I could have uploaded SummerSlam to YouTube, but Twitch muted the audio from it because of one of the menu musics is copywritten, I guess, and it mutes it, so I can't download the VOD. So I'll be recording all the ones from now on.
But we weren't muted during the actual broadcast itself, were we?
No, it's only in the VOD.
Okay. That sucks, but
this next one will be uploaded to YouTube, but you'll definitely want to watch it live, twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast, tomorrow night after Dynamite. It'll be a lot of fun. We got our regular episodes, our aftermath of SummerSlam. All right. So, Liz, take us home.
My cat bit me several times.
Pay those bills, Liz.
Okay. If you enjoyed this, join us tomorrow for all the things that Mark just said. And if you didn't enjoy this, well, I'm sorry.
Keep watching and maybe it'll get better.
Yeah, who's to say? Give us a chance. We will also be back with our post shows on Friday to talk about SmackDown. And you know what? Maybe we'll do like a little live tweeting, sort of, kind of, maybe-ish, of Ring of Honor. Given the concept that we're actually like focusing on not Ring of Honor, so maybe we won't. I don't know. Who's to say? Anything's possible. So yeah, please join us tomorrow. Please join us Friday. It's gonna be a hoot and a holler and a half.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. We've got all of our previous episodes on there. If you're watching on YouTube, check us out live, twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And we'll see you tomorrow for I almost said Takeover. For 2K20 Universe Mode. Battle the Brands. Don't go anywhere. Keep this page open. Keep it open. Have a good night.